Hello and welcome to this edition of Tips and Tricks. Now today I'm going to be talking about the curiosity bite. A bite when a bass is just sort of curious about whatever this thing is that's swimming through the water. And it mostly happens on either soft plastics like a Senko or even a jig, sometimes something you're moving through the water real slow. But oftentimes on swim baits that you're just cruising through the water column real slow. And what it is, like I said, the bass is just curious. Although it might have a similar coloration to a prey they feed on, the reality is it doesn't really look like something they feed on. It doesn't act the way the prey around it acts. It doesn't swim like it. So they're just sort of curious to see if this actually is a new potential food source. And one of the hardest things to do is not set the hook when you feel those little taps. Especially new bass fishermen, because you're taught when you feel those taps, set the hook. Well, if you set the hook, jig it up. Because those fish, like I said, are just testing it. Most prey, when they suck them in, spit them out, the prey will actually sort of pause for a few seconds. It's kind of dazed, disoriented, and then it'll start swimming away. So if you set the hook and pull it way far away and pull it real fast, it's not going to look natural. They're probably just going to ignore it and go on their merry way. So what you should do, and what I've learned to do, is when you feel these taps, pause the bait for a sec. 2 seconds. Just let it drop for a sec, or let it just kind of sit there, and then start moving it in like you would before you got the initial hit. And more times than not, those bass will come back, inhale it, and take off with it. Just something I learned in here, and one of the reasons I learned it, because this water is so shallow, I'd be swimming that small swim bait in, feel little taps, but behind it I'd see a pretty darn big wake. I'm like, okay, that was a little tap, but that was definitely a bigger fish. So I learned to pause it, and then slowly start reeling it back in the way I was before I got the hit, and sure enough, boom, those fish come back, and this time they inhale it and take off with it. So give it a try. Curiosity bite. Don't set the hook on these little taps. It's hard to do. It takes some discipline, but just pause it for a few seconds, keep reeling it in, and I bet you'll find out that these little taps weren't little fish, but a lot of times really nice quality fish. I hope this helps. Until next time.